Hello, welcome back to my little corner of the internet, or welcome if you are new. My name is Smay. I have a few life updates that I wanted to talk about that I thought I might just include all in one video, so without some big long rambly intro, let's just get into it. If you have been following my channel for a while, you might recall a video, I feel like it was like around May or early June last year. I made a video talking about how I felt about going on maternity leave. A very quick roundup of that video was that I didn't really know how to feel going on maternity leave. The company that I was with, spoiler alert, had been going through a lot of changes pretty much the whole time that I had been employed by them, and I knew that more changes were going to be happening while I was on leave, and that was definitely playing on my mind. And I expected that there would be changes within that year anyway, because of course, you know, people leave, people come, every company, every business grows within a year. That was also combined with the fact that I worked in social media for this company, so even while I was on leave, I knew that unless I like muted everything or hid everything to do with my job, I was going to be seeing the types of stuff that normally I would be working on. I just didn't know how it was going to be to have someone managing my job and that I could see so visually, if that makes any sense. When I filmed that video, I still had every intention of returning to the same company, and going to another job was definitely not on my horizon. I had been, as I said, at this job for 3 years. It was definitely a consideration in my brain that probably at some point over the next year, once I returned, I might want to start looking for a new job, because, you know, like 3 years is a long time to be in a job where there's not that much ability to progress through your career or progress through the company. So I knew that if I wanted to do that, which I did, I'd have to look elsewhere. I guess being on leave gave me a bit of a different perspective in terms of you know, my job and how I want my career to be looking in the future and things. So I figured there was no harm in at least looking to see what else was out there. And if I found a really great job, maybe I'd think about moving, but at least I knew that I had a job that I could go back to if there was nothing else in the market. Which brings me to my first update, which I kind of just mentioned before. I have a new job, and I've actually already started that new job. I am working for a charity. I'm managing their digital content, so still social media, but also a lot of website content and things like that as well, which is what I wanted, because when I had started looking for roles in social media, at least the jobs that were available in Wellington, in New Zealand, the level that I was at in my old job was kind of as high as I could go, if that makes any sense. There weren't any other roles that were like higher up in a company that I could find that were paying better but also had better opportunities or like better growth opportunities. So I felt like if I didn't start expanding my skills in terms of other content, or, you know, refining my skills in other marketing areas, and I was kind of going to be limiting myself in terms of where I could go in my career. The job was advertised as full-time, and when I went for my interview, I let them know that I wouldn't be able to start full-time until the end of May, when my son Finn starts daycare. But I did say to them I could probably do about 2 hours a day / 10 hours a week while he is sleeping if they wanted me to start earlier, because I started looking and interviewing for jobs kind of at the start of the year, but I didn't really start applying for stuff until like February time. So when I interviewed for this job, it was like late February, early March, and I knew that, you know, it was kind of cheeky of me to then say I can't actually start for a good couple of months. And yeah, luckily they were totally fine with me doing 10 hours a week all from home, and actually they suggested that when Finn does start daycare, if for a few months I want to be doing 30 hours instead of a full 40-hour week, I can definitely be doing that with a few days at home and a few days in the office. In terms of what my priorities are right now, I don't think I could have asked for anything better than this job, because the fact that they were the ones to suggest that I could work 30 hours a week if I wanted to is perfect, because it means that I can still be working, still be learning new skills, and, you know, slowly moving up in my career, albeit even this is like maybe a little step as opposed to like a bigger step that I could have taken. But I didn't want a job that was so many hours or was like super stressful or like a lot of new stuff to learn, because my priority is still spending as much time with my son as I can. And if I didn't have to go back to work, if money like wasn't on the table, I definitely would be taking more time to spend with Finn. But, you know, it's not really feasible anymore, I don't think, especially for, you know, the bills and stuff that Nick and I have to pay. It's not feasible to just be on one income, especially because Nick is currently doing a building apprenticeship, so he is not on as much money as he will be once he finishes that apprenticeship. So yeah, that kind of brings me on to my next update, which is Finn going to daycare, which is crazy. I can't believe he's almost going to be 1. Finn was born 2 weeks early, but he was initially due at the end of June, so I had said that I would go back to my old job at the beginning of July, and I kind of just planned on sending Finn to daycare at the beginning of July as well, when he was like 12.5 months old. Before he was even born, I had heard about this daycare in my suburb, which seemed like a really good daycare. When he was about a month old, I actually put him on the wait list for this daycare because I'd heard it's really hard to get into because it's quite small. The daycare got in touch and let me know that they would have a spot opening up in mid-May if Finn wanted to take that spot. And when I queried to see if they were going to have anything a little bit later, they weren't sure, or they couldn't promise that they would have anything available. And I kind of understand because, you know, at the end of the day, they are still a business. So if they were to hold that spot for Finn for a month and a half, that's like a month and a half of money from another child that they could have coming in. So it's not exactly what I had pictured in my head in terms of when he would be going to daycare, but yeah, that's just how life goes sometimes. You can have a plan and, you know, life will have other plans for you. It will mean that Finn is going to daycare when he is 11 months old, and I knew that I wanted to breastfeed for at least 12 months if I was able to, and luckily that is something that I've still been able to do. Because that wasn't my ideal plan, it took a little bit to get my head around the fact that if I wanted him to still be breastfeeding, I was going to have to start pumping again. We're going to have to get him used to bottles again because he hasn't woken up in the middle of the night or needed a feed from a bottle for a very long time. So hopefully we can still get him used to a bottle. And yeah, he currently has 4 feeds a day. So 2 of them, one in the morning and one in the evening, I'll still be able to breastfeed him for. But for the other 2, I will be expressing when I get to work, and then he'll be taking the milk the next day or whatever to daycare, and they can give him a bottle of milk. So yeah, I feel like I've been rambling for a really long time. Basically all this to say things are changing around here, and I can't really believe that we're already at this point. It's always something that I would think about, but kind of in like a future sense, so like, oh, eventually that will happen. And when we like signed Finn up for daycare officially, and when I like signed the contract of my new job, things all of a sudden started feeling really real, and I didn't really know how to feel, because all the time I'd just been kind of thinking like, you know, I'll deal with those emotions of like not being with Finn every single day, starting a new job, all of that. I'll deal with that as and when it happens, and then all of a sudden it's happening a little bit sooner than I thought, and I'm kind of like, whoa. But yeah, that is all I have to say. I'll keep you posted on how everything goes. Thank you very much if you have made it this far in the video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.